Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. I'm your host, Jim Tabor, along with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctor's Nutrition, located on Cal and Lorraine Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. We do this every Monday morning. It is a live call-in show, so you're invited to call in with any of your health issues, or mainly about the topic that we have with today, which is very apropos for the weather that we're having. But 896-0713 or 800-349-0713, our phone lines are open to you. And with the temperatures going down this week, and I walked in here and I looked on the screen, I said 20 for a nighttime low later this week, I think it was like Thursday night, Friday morning.
It's going to be colder than everybody here is used to.
Oh boy, it's going to be bad. So anyway, we're talking about cold weather health issues, and I'm sure there's a lot of folks that are already dealing with them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Even though it's not been super cold. Matter of fact, when we picked this topic, it was what, 75?
Yes, it was not cold. I'm like, but surely it'll get cold soon.
Yeah, it'll happen sooner or later. Well, it just happened.
Us.
It did.
Yeah, seriously. We won't do that again. But that we just thought, well, gosh, it is a problem and does kind of cause issues. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, and one of the things that everybody's been dealing with, even though it hadn't been cold, is the flu.
Right.
And COVID and RSV, all the viruses.
Right.
And they started early this year. So that's one thing that you always have to do during the wintertime and during winter is keep your immune system up. And unfortunately, we talked about that for a long time when COVID was in the, infancy stages, and everybody was doing it. And now everybody's kind of backed off and said, oh, well, and it's not just COVID. Yeah. It is the flu. It is, like I said, that RSV went around a lot.
That was
this
bad.
Year.
It's still around.
Yeah, it's still around. All of it's still around. There. And so now is the time that you want to keep your immune system up.
Yeah.
Now, how do you do that? For one, vitamin D. We talk about it all the time. Vitamin D goes down this time of the year.
Yeah.
No doubt, cold weather keeps people inside. You don't have as much sun, or sun's not seeing the skin. Even if you're out, you're covered up. That makes a difference in your vitamin D levels.
Yeah,
so D definitely goes down.
And last week, every lab work that I looked at, when I would talk to the people, I said, your vitamin D is lower. What's going on? Well, when it starts out with okay,
here it comes.
Well, here it comes, right?
Yep.
Well, I've kind of backed off that. No, this is not the time to back off. I mean, if you've been very diligent and stayed healthy and kept that vitamin D status up, took your vitamin C, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and all of a sudden you're backing down when we got this flare-up going on, and believe me, it's a flare-up. I mean, even though you might be on the waning side right now, we're kind of settling down a little bit. It's getting down to manageable levels now. That's what they mean when it's calming down.
Right.
It's still there, and it still will get you very hard.
Right,
so.
and this strand of COVID that's been going around is very contagious.
Very.
So it is one that people don't need to back down, because everybody says, oh, I got tired to doing that. Well, you know what? You need your immune system. You need your immune system, and you need to not get sick. And unfortunately, it ain't ever going away. I mean, the thing is what's out there, just like the flu, it's going to be back constantly. And so you need to keep the immune system up. So keep on your vitamin C, your vitamin D, and your zinc, like everybody's been doing. And then there's other things. Arabinogalactin, really good at boosting the immune system.
Yeah.
It also feeds your good bacteria, and your good bacteria, probiotics, really important for the immune system. So if you have taken an antibiotic, you want to make sure you replace your good bacteria, or I had a few people in last week, been sick. It never ends. They get over one thing and then they end up getting something else. And it's because they had taken antibiotics and didn't replace their good bacteria. You have to replace your probiotics at a high enough level after you take an antibiotic, or you will get sick.
And I take a probiotic on a daily basis,
right?
Even though I'm not sick.
So do we.
And haven't had an antibiotic in years and years. But
that's one of those things that you really need to do, is actually probably do that all the time. And then something just to have in your cabinet is like Olivir, which is an antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, antiparasite. If you do start getting sick, start loading up. There's mushroom combinations. There's the MRS mushroom. We have the mycoimmune. So there's things that you can do and have on hand, but then there are normal everyday things need to be D, C, zinc, probiotic, and arabinogalactin if you're
And
around
you said that
people.
arabinogalactin is, you can give that to a baby.
You can give it to a baby, exactly.
We've given it to babies, literally.
Yeah, just like a little, you said a little.
Just stick it on your finger and
form.
stick it in your mouth, exactly. Yeah. So it's in a powder, and you mix it with anything and just drink it. So it's one that's good for the whole family, all ages. And it does, if you catch things quick and you have it on hand and you start seeing first symptom, you want to start taking a lot. Or if you're around people that you know are sick, start taking it. Or even Christmas time, or you know you're going to be around a lot of people.
Oh boy.
Start taking it. So that's kind of some of the things you can do for that.
You know, there's a, and I have no idea who this is attributed to. Somebody wise said that if you don't take time to take care of yourself when you're not sick, you'll for damn sure take care of yourself when you are sick. You'll find a time, and it's true. In other words, if you're healthy, you better take time to be a little bit preventative, because if you're not, when you get sick, you're going to have to take time.
Right.
I mean, it really is it's a problem, and you know, you don't want to get in that situation. You want to stay as healthy as we possibly can.
And you don't want to get so sick that you end up taking up somebody else's time to take care of you.
Right, exactly.
Because, you know, that's one of the things, and it just becomes a domino effect after that.
Right.
Yeah.
We're seeing a lot of
So
that
I think
right
that's
now.
one of the big ones with winter weather is the viruses, all the stuff you can catch, because people are indoors. If you think about it, you're not outside as much. Everybody's kind of close quarters because it's cold, and it's fixing to be this weekend. So I think not many people around here are going to be outside this weekend, because it is going to be colder than we're used to. And the more closed in you are, the more people you're around in close quarters, the more likely you are to get sick.
I have to be breaking out the thermals this weekend.
Yeah, I'm serious.
I know. It's definitely going to be chilly.
Totally unusual
Wearing
for
those
us.
under the Christmas pajamas on Sunday.
Yeah. And one of the other things, winter, and I think everybody is, I've already had people complaining about this and it hadn't been that cold yet, dry skin and chapped lips.
Yeah.
I mean, we've heard that. I mean, you hear it all the time.
Yeah.
But I've already started getting that last week, and it ain't even that cold yet. So when it gets colder, that is an issue.
How about joints? I mean,
Well, that's another thing.
that's another thing we're
gonna
gonna talk about, yeah.
But
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
things you want to do for the dry skin is lotion up, and also fish oil internally. Fish oil, flax oil, all your oils. Grease up on the inside. Make sure you stay hydrated, even though you don't know that you're sweating. You still can lose fluids.
Well, even
during the winter.
just breathing, you
Right.
lose a lot of moisture. You know.
So make sure you drink your water. Make sure you take oil up inside and grease up on the outside.
And when you're greasing up on the outside, make sure that you're not putting something on the outside that'll soak in that's actually not good for you.
Right.
You know, we suggest all the time, you know, we keep the lotions that don't have the parabens, they don't have the phthalates, they don't have all the bad stuff, you know. And you can get those. And really, it's worth the effort to take time to read the labels and make sure that it doesn't have chemicals. If you can't pronounce it, don't do it. And if it's got the PEGs in it, which is a polyethylene glycols, think about antifreeze, okay? So if it's got PEGs in it, that's
And
that's
actually, if it has
antifreeze.
a lot of alcohol in it, it's going to be
Dry
more
you out
drying.
more,
So yeah.
Okay. 896-0713, 800-349-0713. Our phone lines are open. We're talking about cold weather health issues this morning. It's 8 minutes after 9 o'clock, and we'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back. It's our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. We're talking about cold weather health issues this morning. And I had to bring this out because this is one of the lovely gifts that the doctors gave me for Christmas this year. And we're talking about, and I'm going to set it down here so the camera can get a shot of it, Savannah Bee Body Butter.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, our super rich body butter formula combines royal jelly with other goodies from the hive, like protective propolis
Yes.
and emollient beeswax.
Yep.
Right.
To quench dryness and protect skin's own natural moisture berries. And you carry this at the store.
We do,
Yes.
and we didn't bring it. We didn't give it to him for him to put it on TV, but he said, "Can I bring this out?" And we're like, "Sure." I actually had gotten some myself when I was on vacation and liked it so much we started carrying it at the store. But it has all your stuff from the beehive that's actually very healing, and it's very good. It doesn't have all the chemicals. That's one of the things. It's a small company, doesn't have all the chemicals in it, and they also make chapsticks. And they
Yes.
have a little thing where they have all, like,
Is that like Burt's Bees?
Like 8 different kinds. No, I mean, they're not. Burt's Bees probably started small.
But,
like
yeah,
that.
but I
Yeah.
mean, they're a small company, but they've got some really neat
Yeah.
chapstick stuff.
So we have
Cool.
the chapstick stuff at the store too, and so
Yeah.
we have the stuff that you need for the cold weather.
Right.
We use it all year round. That's what we use ourselves.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, it's something that you definitely want to do, and you want to take care of your skin because your skin's important.
It is. You know, the first time I ever went to a real doctor, I guess, was a dermatologist. I was about 17, 18 years old. And, you know, I had a problem, and I had no idea, you know, of course, just a young kid. And the guy looked at me, and he poked around a little bit and said, dry skin. I said, okay, what do I do about it?
Lotion.
Lotion. Seriously.
So he's had a problem his whole
So
life.
I've had a problem my whole life. You know?
Yeah.
And believe me, this Burt's Bees stuff, I mean,
ain't
not Burt's
Burt's
Bees,
Bees.
but Savannah Bee.
Savannah Bee.
Savannah Bee, yeah, we'll get it right in a minute. Savannah Bee has really been, I'm usually a critic. I'm a good test case because some of the stuff that they'll send us samples of and so on, I try it, it don't work. That stuff is very good because I have certain spots on my body that no matter what I do, it's just extraordinarily tough.
Yeah, like I said,
And-
he's been like that probty much his whole life.
Whole life, yeah.
So
And-
it's just something that one of the things you do need to do.
So probably best to apply it after you've bathed
Bathe,
in the
right?
shower.
Yep,
anytime,
yep,
anytime.
always.
Yeah, you seal in some moisture that way. And the thing about it is, it doesn't have any of the bad chemicals in it. You know, everything on it is natural compounds coming out of a beehive.
Yeah,
and
I
things
always
like that.
read before I buy something.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
so
Yeah,
I'll
definitely.
always read to make sure.
Definitely. Okay.
Okay.
Awesome. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. We're talking about cold weather health issues, and I mentioned something in the last segment.
Yep.
Joints.
Yes.
Yes.
It's another thing. Now, some of the research will try to say that it shouldn't matter and all, but that's not what everybody else says.
You know what I think? The researchers need to have some arthritis and deal with some cold weather themselves
Yeah.
first.
'Cause I
So
have
don't take
people-
these young
Yep.
kids and let them do the research. Get this old guys like us, and we'll go out there and say, "Yep, by golly, it does. It works." You know?
It definitely, the cold weather makes your arthritis a little bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when you start seeing, people are like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, I wake up stiff. One of the best things that we have for that is Pernimax. Pernimax definitely helps with joint stiffness. And I mean, we have a lot of other stuff too. We have the curcuma veil, and
Oh, yeah.
we have all kind of stuff for inflammation. The SPM, bromelain. You start naming Phyto-4. We have a lot of stuff, but the Pernimax is one thing. If you truly have arthritis, it is nothing else like it. Now, pretty much everybody can take it unless you have gout. It comes from a muscle, so muscles can make gout worse. So we tell people not to take it if they actually, have gout. So that's it.
Okay. Question: if you take too much vitamin C on a daily basis, does your body become too dependent on it?
No.
Never seen anything. That's a
Yeah.
common something that you hear a lot. There's never been any research that proved that. So
Yeah.
no, your body, your immune system, things that need it work better when you take it. A lot of it, but it's not that it gets
Right. And
dependent.
maybe
on
if you stop it, you might get sick because
Yeah.
then you don't have it. So it's not really that you're dependent on it. And there's
Right.
no withdrawal symptoms when you stop vitamin C. So there's nothing like that. And vitamin C can be taken at pretty high doses. You get diarrhea if you get too much, if you're on most C.
Yeah.
Our liposomal form of C, which is your better form of vitamin C because it's 94% absorbable, it's really hard to get diarrhea on that. It
Yeah.
really is because the way it's so absorbable, it's the non-absorbability that actually makes you get diarrhea from it.
Yeah, actually, if you think about vitamin C is ascorbic acid, so it's an acid, and so you're putting in a heavy acid. If you just take like powdered pills, whatever, doesn't matter, anything, the normal pills and potions that you take in vitamin C, you're throwing a lot of acid in that gut. That's why they always talk to you about taking it up to bowel tolerance. Well, your bowel can only tolerate so much of that stuff, and it's going to say, okay, got to get rid of this, and it's going to give you the diarrhea. So with the liposomal C, and this is something that's been coming on for years, we had first seen an inkling of it, and we kind of got a friend of ours who was into business, and I kind of coerced him into getting involved in making this stuff. He fussed at me really hard for a while because we had stuff.
we had a bunch of stuff
we
that
had
didn't work.
Stuff blowing up in bottles. It was fun.
Blowing up.
Well,
Oh, yeah, it was
when-
fun.
It was right when liposomal stuff came out, and we were putting it in. The first batch we had made, we put it in glass bottles.
Bad idea.
Well, the way it's done after it sits, it starts expanding, and it would bust the bottles. We were having our alarm go off at the store in the middle of the night because the vitamin C bottles were busting. That was a long time ago. That was probably a good,
Yeah.
15, 18 years ago.
To kind of give you an idea of what it takes to make that liposomal C, you take vitamin C, you put it in a big vat, and we use sunflower lecithin. So you use a fatty substance, lecithin, okay? So we take this lecithin, which is a fat, and we put in high pressure nitrogen. So and high agitation, ultrasound agitation. I mean, we're talking about some high speeds. We're talking about some scary stuff if it's in a vessel. But it pushes that vitamin C and it wraps it up in a molecule of lecithin. Now your body sees lecithin as a fat. It's not an acid. So it absorbs that fat just like it absorbs bacon grease, which is totally different than any regular vitamin C. Any fat's absorbed totally different. So it absorbs it and gets it into your system. Your liver looks at it and says, oh, wait a minute, this is vitamin C, put it over here, and oh, lecithin, I can use that to make cell membranes and things like that. So it's just a really neat thing. But the problem is remember that process, high pressure nitrogen, and it outgasses nitrogen. So we had to go with not only plastic bottles, we had to use a special cap that will outvent, but won't let air in. So it's it was a learning process.
We did learn because nobody was hardly doing it yet when we I mean, there wasn't much liposomal C on the market.
Yeah.
And so we were one of the first.
All right.
But we had to learn our lessons.
We're talking about cold weather health issues this morning. If you have any questions regarding that or anything regarding your health, pick up the phone and give us a call at 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. 17 minutes after 9 o'clock on this brisk Monday morning. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with this week's special. And welcome back. It's our final segment this morning of our Monday morning live edition of the Doctor's Nutrition Show. Let's go ahead and show you what our special is for this week.
And it's the arabinogalactin. We had talked about it earlier in the show, which is the powder that can just boost your immune system. And it can be taken by pretty much the whole family. The only people that really can't take it if you can't have your immune system increased, like somebody that has an organ transplant. But other than that, it's real safe and it just boosts your immune system and it does help you keep you from getting sick.
And it's a prebiotic, so it helps the gut in that respect. A lot of people take it for that reason. Just kind of a little bit, maybe not a big dose of it, but they take a little bit of it every day because it really does help. Because prebiotics, if you've keep up with the research in that area, prebiotics are about as big as the probiotics.
Yep, and it feeds your good bacteria so that your own bacteria can grow and flourish and
multiply
all that good stuff.
And all that stuff.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
All right. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. We're talking about their cold weather health issues. Circulation.
Circulation's one of the other ones.
Circulation can be bad enough in the summertime, but in the wintertime, you have that vasoconstriction, especially in the extremities.
Slow down.
And we slow down physically, and which you're not moving around as much. And you get that vasoconstriction, so you because of the cold weather, and especially the extremities start getting real cold. So you take somebody that's having a little bit of a slow down problem normally through the summertime, and in the wintertime, it really can get bad. Very, very important because when it slows down that circulation, now you're increasing your risk for the heart attack and stroke stuff that we just don't want. That's where we've talked about it before, the nattokinase, one of the best things that you can do. The research on nattokinase, I think we did we do it?
Yeah, we did a show on it just recently.
Doesn't seem to help memory, but well, it's supposed to. But needless to say, it's probably one of the best things for circulation that you can possibly get, and it really does help circulation.
I take
it does help circulation.
Yep, I take it every day.
And also amino flow. Amino flow is a vasodilator, so it does keep the vessels open so that you don't get closed down. Because there's no doubt around the holidays, they know heart attack risk go up. I mean, the stress, we had a show just on stress in the holidays, so we're not going to talk about that.
Actually, the cardiologists call it holiday heart.
Yeah.
They've got a name for it, holiday heart. Because they know that heart problems get really cranked up around the holidays.
And then another thing that we mentioned and talked about recently on a show is the SAD, seasonal affective disorder.
Yes.
And there is no doubt that is very common. And that is during the winter months when you don't get the sun and you start getting depressed. And people do it during the winter months. And there's a few things you can do for that. The 5-HTP if you're not already on an antidepressant. But if you're really bad, get a light box. They actually make light boxes.
Yeah, they do.
We don't have them, but they make light boxes so that you can look at the light even during times you don't get as much sunlight. And that makes a huge difference. So there are things that you can take supplement-wise, but there's also the light boxes that you can do at home. So there is something that you can do for that.
And something that we practice all the time, even in the winter when it's cold, and it's going to be downright cold at the end of this week.
I don't know about this weekend.
And I promise you, our neighbors are probably going to think, those idiots are out there again. We're going to be sitting out around the pool or somewhere. We're in the sunshine.
I wrap
if it's
up
sunny.
a blanket if it's sunny. I get big, thick blankets and sit outside still. So around here we can most of the time. So that is something that just because it is cold does not mean you can't go outside. Just wrap up.
As long as it's sunshine,
you don't get
out and get some sun. Sun is so great for you because it's really good, especially
really
the reflective sun through the eyes.
Like see you wrapped up in a blanket out there by the pool with just your face sticking out.
Well, I have to have sunlight.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I have to do. Now, one thing we did want to mention real quick too is our holiday hours.
Yes.
Because with this weekend is Christmas, and we'll get 1,000 calls on when are we closed. We are closing Friday at 2 o'clock, so half a day on Friday we'll be there. We will not be there Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday. So we will be open on Wednesday. So we're closing at 2 o'clock Friday, and we're reopening Wednesday at normal times.
Okay.
So, and then on the next week, just to let everybody know, we are closed on the 2nd. Since the 1st falls on a Sunday, all of our employees want their day off. So
I don't blame them.
we are actually gonna, so we will be closed on the 2nd, which most people I think are taking the 2nd instead of the 1st.
I think most
Right.
are.
Yeah.
Now, we will be here next Monday
Live.
morning.
Yeah.
On the 26th, the day after Christmas, we will be here talking about losing those holiday pounds that you've
That's right.
accumulated over during those Christmas meals.
Because this time of the year, that's what we're always hearing is, oh, well, I've gained so much weight, or I get, So no more excuses. Everybody this time of the year says, oh, well, I have to go to this party and I have to go. Well, then after Christmas, okay, time to change.
Yep.
So we'll be talking about what you can do and steps you can make to actually help get rid of all that.
Yeah. I think like I say, this time of year just brings a little extra awareness. You've got to pay attention to what's going on. It's getting colder. Circulation is not going to be as good like we talked about. You get a lot more virus stuff going around. And used to we talked about colds and flus. All right, well, we got a litany of things that we can talk about now. I mean, the cold, it's common cold is just about gone, I think, because we replaced it with RSV and
COVID and
and
flu.
COVID.
I don't know that it's gone.
I don't think it's gone, but it's amazing, and it's probably just kind of one of those comorbidities, as we call them in medicine, where you get it along with something else, And so we really have to start really taking care of ourselves, in the wintertime. We really do, more so than in the summer, perhaps.
And don't slack off of your vitamin D, C, and zinc just because you're tired of taking it, because now's not the time.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've seen a lot of people lately with low vitamin D again.
Oh yeah.
And for a while there, you weren't seeing near as much because a lot of people were taking it. Now people are backing off, and it's not the time to back off. It's never a good time to have your immune system go down, ever. I don't care what it is, because we're talking about viruses.
Well, I would think
and
especially
things.
during the wintertime when it's so cold and everything outside.
Well, D is actually, definitely decreased in the winter anyway. But your immune system isn't just about getting rid of viruses either. I mean, if your immune system's stronger, cancer, it plays a role in fighting that. There's all kinds of things that you need your immune system for. So you don't want to ever let your immune system get down. There's never a good time to slack off.
A lot of the problems that we see nowadays is the increase in the autoimmune stuff. And it's because people have allowed their immune system to get compromised to the point where it can't function quite right. And you get an infection, and then all of a sudden it turns into something chronic that the body has to deal with, and you wind up with some of these even unnamed autoimmune problems.
Right.
And a lot of them are unnamed. Just, there's only so many that we have that are quote unquote autoimmune things that are named. A lot of them that are going on autoimmune now, and the research comes out and says, well, we looked at this and it looks like it's an autoimmune problem. They haven't really termed it as an autoimmune problem, but when the researchers start telling you, it kind of looks like it's an autoimmune type reaction, then we got a problem.
Yep.
So we got to keep everything healthy.
Well, thank you for joining us again this morning. We will be here next Monday morning. We'll be talking about losing those holiday pounds. So join us, and if you want any more information, you can also find a plethora of things on their Facebook page, or go to doctorsnutrition.com and find some things as well on there, including some of the past shows.
Yep.
Hope you have a wonderful week. Wrap up. It's going to be very cold, and we'll
have
see you.
a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
For more information on highlighting your business and services on Healthy Living South Mississippi, contact Jim Tabor at 896-1313.